Welcome to Living Your Path. I am Cecile Ferry, a coach and astrologer. I'm here to guide you on how to live and work in alignment with your true self so you can find fulfillment and serenity. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to your Cosmic Catch-Up for week commencing the 1st of March. So welcome to March. And I am releasing this episode one day early because I want to have you being a bit prepared for the eclipse happening on Tuesday, the 3rd of March. So right now we have a lot of Pisces energy. So you might be feeling it. You might be feeling a little dreamy, a little off with the fairies, and maybe feeling very creative. And also there is Mercury retrograde in Pisces that started last week. I don't know you, but I'm not finding it as bad as the others because it's in Pisces. So I think if we chill, we're going to be okay. We're not going to feel as much the chaos, We're not going to feel as much the chaos than when Mercury retrograde is happening in a Yang sign, I find. So my advice is try to decommit a little bit so you can be in that watery space and things are going to flow better even if it is retrograde. But you may be seeing people from the past coming up, whether they're suddenly contacting you or you're thinking about them, like something happens. I've heard examples of that lately, so it is definitely Mercury retrograde. Doesn't mean you have to mandatorily engage, but this is coming back for you to think about it and maybe do something again about it, okay? And we have Mars entering Pisces on Tuesday morning in Australia, Monday for the rest of the world. And that is a little bit different energy again because Mars is the planet of drive and action, and Mercury is very much about dissolving things and being quite slow and watery. So the two don't really seem to go really well together, but how to navigate that is again to be really fluid in your energy and to take your inspiration and your motivation from your emotions, your feelings and your mood, because that's how you're going to be guiding. So this is less about pushing, more about sensing over the next couple of weeks. And just to watch out, Mars in Pisces can be a little passive aggressive as well, or you might be really reactive from an emotional point of view. So it's not other people, just try to realize that all your emotions are really driving a lot of your actions right now. Now, I want to get into this week's big topic, which is the second eclipse for this year, which is a total lunar eclipse, which is a full moon in Virgo at 12 degrees Virgo. So it is happening in New York at 6:37 in the morning on Tuesday, in the UK at 11:37 in the morning, and in Australia at 10:37 p.m. So I think we might be able to see it in the sky, and I can't wait. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you how it is because I want you to be prepared. And it may sound really bad, but it's not bad. It's just cathartic, and it is also karmic, and it's happening for our own good. Just keep that in mind. Because this is a full moon and eclipse. So that pretty much means a double full moon, like a full moon on steroids. So this is going to be some form of an ending of a cycle, a culmination, a closure, endings of things, like a big fat release moment. And I call it that way because this is part of a story of eclipses along the Pisces-Virgo axis that has been unfolding since last year. And this people is the last eclipse in Virgo for a very long time. And so I want to start with that because I want to paint that story. So this is Act 3, if you like. We have had two other eclipses in Virgo. We had one in March last year, around the 13th, 14th of March, which was a full moon in Virgo, so same as what we're having now. And then we had a new moon eclipse in Virgo on the 21st of September, 2025. So this is part 3, and this is the last chapter of the story, if you like. And so I want you to go back and see what was happening around those two past eclipses in your life, because The themes are going to be the same, and it's just the end of the story, and it could be like a big loud end, because this is kind of the last karmic opportunity for you to learn the lessons that are good for you in that space. And I say lessons because the eclipse happening on Tuesday is next to the South Node, which is about past stuff we need to release, stuff that is not helpful for us. That's how we grow. We grow by moving towards brand new things that are going to be good for us. That's the North Node side of the evolution. And we grow by letting go of stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. That's the South Node side. So Virgo is South Node for this eclipse. And it's full moon, so you hear it loud and clear. This is about a big fat letting go and releasing. I know, like we talked about shedding and the year of the snake. It's kind of the last cosmic shedding, Virgo style. It's kind of, when I said the last, it's your last really good opportunity to work with the energy. And anyway, if you resist it, like, because it's an eclipse, things may be happening for you in that regard. So you will be realigning yourself. So best to try to work with that yourself so that you flow with that eclipse better. So the theme of the eclipse, because it's Virgo, we're collectively going to be releasing things around our health and well-being. Virgo is about the body, about our daily routines and habits, and the details we have in the mind. That's roughly the 3 pillars. And I felt like to help you prepare for this eclipse, I had the idea of creating a list of archetypes of, if you like, the different type of personalities that we may be embodying that correspond to those tendencies of Virgos that we need to let go of, that revolve around health, well-being, daily routines, and habits and details in the mind. Okay, so this is really like the time to look at, am I doing those things, becoming aware, and deciding to let them go and releasing them. And as I said just before, like, try to let them go yourself, because anyway, the universe is ushering you and pushing you towards letting them go yourself. So you might be thinking, what are they? So I'm just going to go through a long list of, if you like, archetypes or personality traits, if you like, that you may or may not identify with, that are typical Virgo traits that under this eclipse will be a very, very good idea to let go of. And it's kind of, again, as the last chapter, your last opportunity for a while to have a lot of cosmic energy to help you shift that stuff, okay? And you maybe, as you're listening to it, you might be like, yep, that's me. Or you might be even thinking, oh, I'm seeing this at the moment. I'm getting that message. I've been like really working on that, or I've been seeing that. It's been a theme for the last year or so. This is your last little push. You are ready to let it go. Okay, friends? So let me do a list. And just as a full disclosure before we get into it, I fall under about 80% of that list. So do not feel bad. Like, I have a lot of Virgo energy in my chart. So obviously there can be some really positive with that and some negative. So that's where we're focusing for this full moon eclipse. But here we go. Here are all the people that we need to say goodbye to. The inner taskmaster. You know, the one that says to you, come on, go, do more, bring your to-do list, let's go. The perfectionist, or waiting for perfect self. Big one. The micromanager, also called the control freak. The inner critic, especially the relentless inner critic. The impossible standard bearer. The inner surveillance officer, or inner surveillance scanner. You know, when we're like, what could go wrong? The servant. That is a huge one for Virgo. So it's where we are potentially serving the wrong master, or we're really in that position where we might be taken for granted. We are like, you know, insubordinate, we find, and we just like giving. Okay? The preemptive warrior or fixer. the self-doubter, especially like always thinking, oh, I can't do this. This is impossible for me. The deserving through doing self. Who feels like that one? Definitely raising my hand right now. The master of improvement. And may I say, the master of self-improvement. So all of us who absolutely love personal development and just love getting more books and more podcasts and doing all of that, that's us. The analysis paralyst. Rings a bell, maybe. When it comes to the body, so we have the purist eater, the detox obsessor, the body ignorer, or the collapsing workhorse. That's been me. That's been my story, burning out and feeling it through my body in the last 12 months. Or we have the invisible workhorse. That kind of relates to the servant. The ever available women is another one. And I think that's about it. So some good example. These are all Virgo tendencies. And this is a really good start to think about that and write down in a piece of paper what resonated with you and what are those habits, whether they are body habits, whether they are routines and daily schedules and things you do, or mindset habits that you have that fall into those different buckets, because you can see those tendencies are not helping us. It's not the highest expression of Virgo. So that's your homework for the lunar eclipse happening, is really listen maybe to that whole list and see, yeah, I want to let go of this side of me and this side of me. And if you do that, the eclipse will be a lot more gentle on you and it will feel really freeing. But you can even already see there will be events in your life that are putting you on that road, on that path, showing you the limits of all those archetypes and how you're ready to let them go. So use that very strong energy for your own good. And then, they will be gone. Hopefully those narky bits in our minds or the things that we do where we just give too much of our energy, our body and time to the wrong people, to the wrong master, and not in a way that is aligned for us and then ultimately depletes us. So that's definitely my story. I will report back because I'm expecting a pretty big eclipse, because that eclipse is also happening on top of my natal Mars and my natal Jupiter and really close to my midheaven, which is the point of my role in the world. So it should be a fun week. I will say the eclipse is forming a harmonious aspect with Jupiter, so that's good. We'll take that. That means it is going to bring us some optimism, some luck, and some happiness. So maybe even after whatever happens, right? So it's not all bad. So I would say go back and look what happened 14th of March last year, 21st of September as well. Expect the same themes playing out and being like into their final chapter, and give it this last push that you need so that you can really comes the new astrological year and Aries season, you can really move forward with momentum, having let go of all that stuff which doesn't serve you. And finally, on Friday, we have another transit. Venus is changing signs. It's been in Pisces for the last 4 weeks, and it's very happy in Pisces. I hope that you felt that in your relationship, in your love life. Like things have felt really beautiful. And now it's going to enter Aries. So that feels a little different because it's a fire sign. So think relationship and finances and self-worth entering fire territory. What that gives us is a lot of honesty, freedom and directedness into our relationship and our finances and sense of self. So it's going to be a bit of a me kind of push of energy within relationship, but see it positively. It's about asserting your needs. So it's a great time from Friday onwards to ask for what you want. And really value yourself and put yourself kind of first, right? But just be careful to not be impulsive or overly rush when you are in your relationships or with your spending as well. So that's going to be, a fire transit into your relationship. Hopefully that brings some amazing things. And those of you single, this is a great time to initiate a new relationship or to make the first move. So a really good week in store. Take care of yourself with this eclipse. Purge away, really, is the motto for this Virgo eclipse. And also, try to keep flowing with this Pisces energy. I think that's what helps with when we're doing all that work to release those tendencies, right? This is inner work, if I know it. So, on the other hand, be nice to yourself, be compassionate, loll around a little bit, watch some TV, have a nice cup of tea, do some nice little dreamy things, comforting things for yourself to balance that, very efficient energy of that, that pruning, that cleansing that's happening through the current transit. And that will help you also be carried towards, better things for you that are around the corner. So sending you a big hug all for this week. Take care. Have a really nice eclipse. And I will speak to you next week. Bye, everyone.